What's up, guys? It's me, Hacks, coming at you again with another game journal update. This time I've added quite a bit. I figured I should make one since it's been technically a long time since I've made one, even though I've been working on the game a lot. And that's because Turn-Based Fest for Steam happened this week. It's happening right now, actually. So I was doing as much as I could to get the game in a good state for that. I did. So it's on the store right now. It's already been on the store, obviously, but I put it to the point where in the story where I'm not gonna add more for a little bit. I'm just gonna focus on making what I have in the game currently more complete. As an example of that, I'm gonna focus on replacing these temporary placeholder stuff with the actual models and stuff instead of continuing the story with more placeholder stuff. I think it's better to improve on what I have so far. So for next fest, I should have Rowan's battle playable, the first boss battle. Yeah, I think I'll have to because otherwise it's kind of underwhelming, I think. So yeah, up to there will be playable because then once you fight him, you come back here anyway, and then it'll just end like there because then the next part of the chapter starts. So it'll be playable up until then, basically. It's not really that much more actually in terms of the story, but pretty much what's there now. There's going to be a little bit more after what's there now and currently in the demo, but it's pretty much it. So for the next few, like 2 weeks or so, I'm going to just focus on making everything look nicer. So yeah. And I've already started doing that, sort of. So if you can't tell, the game looks a little bit different. And that's because I changed the way the game looks. I added a new cell shading shader. So now the shading's a little different. It looks better in my opinion. And I also added a little outline on all the player characters. So like Joe has a little outline you can see. Like that. This guy too, he has a little outline. Oh, it's a little harder to see. But yeah, you can see the cell shading is a little different. And the reason why I did that was because the way I had it before, it was only two-tone. So you had a color and you had one shadow. But I ran into problems with that when I would make the scene darker. The lighting wouldn't change, so it didn't look natural. Like you can see now, like when Joe's walking, right, you can see like there's different levels of shadow on him. Right, you can see on his back. There's like 3 tones there. I'm trying to think, like if I go behind this building here, it's a little hard to see because there isn't really a shadow. Actually, if I do this, it should be a little easier to see. Yeah, there's no shadows on medium. So if I walk in here, you can see it got a little darker, right? Compared to here. So, it's little stuff like that. I think it makes the game look a lot better. The little outline, like, really makes Joe stand out. Especially if I go, like, all this crap because, you don't have game data. Whatever. I do have game data. It just doesn't like. If I go, for example, to here in the forest, which I also changed the lighting a little bit. It looks a little different now. Where the... Oh, right. I forgot because I have entering. Oh, because I was on the other level. Don't you just love when you know exactly why something's happening in your game? Okay. You can see how much Joe stands out now from the background, right? Like you can, like compared to this bush, I look very different from the bush. So I think it looks pretty good. Oh yeah, and if I do that, if I go down here, and this under this tree, it's darker. We got here, it's lighter. I think it's cool. I like it a lot. I think it adds to the experience, the visual experience. And you can see it on these bushes too. Like this bush has some shadow on it. this one here too. That one's in shadow. So yeah, I think changing it has been a net benefit. It looks really good. I'm actually starting to feel good about the look of my game, which is I thought it looked pretty bad. I mean, not like bad, but like, amateur. But now it looks a lot better. So I'm actually really happy with the way it looks now. So yeah, that's the visual improvements. So what else? So I added the church in to the game as well, like location wise, right? So the church is kind of it's in most areas where there's civilization, but it really depends on if the people there are like Christian. So not everyone is Christian. Not all societies. Well, the major ones are, so like, the Westwood Kingdom, Christianity. But some of the other places you visit are like, they have different religions and stuff. So depends, but when there is a church, it'll always be the same thing, essentially. So I honestly forgot what I was talking about. We're gonna have to deal with it. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's late. Anyway, I added it in. So that is right here, and that's why, if you were wondering why the hill here, right in front of me, the one I'm looking at, is so big, it's because I knew I was going to add more stuff, right? So I purposefully made a really big open space so that if I needed to add more, I could do so without it being terrible pain. And as you can see, I added it right here. The reason why there's so much of a big gap here is because it's going to be wider. It's going to be a lot wider. If you know how a church building usually looks like, it's kind of like wide and tall sort of thing. So it's going to look like that. So it's going to take like pretty much all this space up here. So yeah. The way the church works is when you go in, it actually will take you to a different level. And the reason for that is because the church is, like I was saying before, there's only one of it. So when you enter it, you're entering the same place every single time. And this is also a really big benefit for me, personally, because the inside of a church building is really, really big. So if I were to put the whole thing in the level, for example, you can see like here, there's really not that much space. So I would have to make the entire level larger just to accommodate this one building, which I don't want to do. So it's going to be like one of those illusions where it's like small on the outside, big on the inside sort of thing. Yeah, so this is going to be like, the hallway with the what is it called? The rug, the long rug in the middle. I forget what it's called. There's a word for it. But yeah, the center row in the church where you walk down and there's like pews on either side, sort of deal. And then all the way at the end where there's like the podium and stuff, you'll meet John. You'll see him like right here. You can talk to him. I still have to come up with items that he'll sell. Obviously, it'll be like holy stuff. The only one I thought of so far is this one. That teleports you back. Because in the beginning of the game, obviously, you don't have any way to teleport back. You get it way later. But, at first you have to buy it. So. Yep. So there you go, the church. Obviously, I just made it today, so it's just literally this. But I will add more. It'll actually be one of the easier ones because it's literally, I have a pretty good idea of what a church looks like. So it's not very complicated. What else? So from last time, like what I added to the demo, I added like pretty much the entirety of the Nemid Forest. Let's see. Oh yeah, I also added this in the functionality for ends. And I don't think I can go to it now. But there's also the functionality for the church to keep you from going there too early. in the game. So if you've already done this, like if you load a later save where you've already visited everything, you can go in the church right away. But if you just started the game and you haven't done everything yet, you can't go in. So, yeah. And if you were wondering why you can't go into any of the shops in the beginning of the game, it's because you get 400 pence from the queen, right? So if you theoretically went to any one of those and spent money and you had $0, when you go to the inn later in the story, you wouldn't have money to pay for it. So that would be pretty bad. So that's why you can't visit any ones until the next day. So if you're wondering about that. Okay. Right, inns. Okay. So the functionality is there now. Let me just move this really quickly. Progress prevention out of the way so I can go inside. And I think I did the wrong one. I did. I did the tailor and not the inn, which is over here. And you can see here the starting of it. So it's going to be obviously wider than the shops. So you have the inn has two parts. So you have the main inn, which is like the reception area, the rooms, and then you have the side part of the inn, which is going to be connected to it. But that has the hot springs area. So there's actually two places in an inn where you can restore your health, okay? So there's the hot springs, which is obviously in hot springs, right? Hot springs. And then you have your bed where you can go and sleep. Honestly, it's up to you. They literally do the same thing. I mean, maybe if you're like playing in your living room and you don't want people to see naked guys, go to your bed instead. I mean, they do the same thing. It's up to you which one you want to use. Let me get rid of everything else tier 2 so I can show you that. I mean, you've probably already seen it. If you've been here a while, you've already seen it, but, boop. And, I was also asked, or like, not asked, but, I thought I moved this thing. They moved another one. I was, told that, shouldn't have been able to, what am I talking about? Oh boy, I'm tired. So, when it's the next day for an inn, and you leave, that counts as checking out, okay? So you lose your key that you get, right? So you get a room key, you can go inside your room, right? Like here. I have a key, I can go inside. Here's the bed if you want to sleep. Restore your health. Okay. Here's the hot springs. It does literally the same thing. You see Joe and Dan naked. Yeah. Literally up to you which one you want to use. It doesn't matter. Receptionist is here. Yeah, you can buy a key. Yeah, so that's ends, I guess. So every time there's basically a new day, you have to buy a key again. Because that's the way hotels work. I mean, so, yeah. Put this back. I have a feeling I moved something else, but, yeah, so basically I'm just trying to make the game look better. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Of course, the Nemeth Forest, which is in the demo. And I forgot to change the thing again. There's like so much stuff I've done, and I just keep forgetting to write everything down. It's like, man, feels like I've done nothing at all, but I've actually done a lot. Yeah, I'm really just focused on making it look better. Yeah, I think it looks good. So for next time, this is all over the place, man. I don't even know what I'm doing. Next time, I'm planning on making some more 3D stuff, and mostly drawing like the story mode stuff, because right now a lot of it's placeholder, and it doesn't look so good. So, yeah, doing that. And a big one I was gonna do was the chest. So, for example, I'm actually really surprised by how good. Like, it's crazy how much shaders can make your game, like, make or break your game, right? Like, it looks so much better, and all I did was add another shader, or a different one than the one I had. Go away. Shoot. Go away. No. Oh yeah, I gotta animate these guys. I forgot. Oh. This is gonna be like 30 minutes long for no reason. I was gonna make a model for the chest, so you can finally. Oh yeah, and the icons too. Like, so you saw how that was like white instead of the gun, and yeah, a lot of the icons I haven't even drawn yet. It's actually kind of amazing how many of them are like placeholder. Where'd that guy go? I don't know. Oh, there he is. He's in the bush. He can't see me. Ah! Jump scare. And I gotta make models for the overworld too. Obviously, it's not supposed to be the Unreal Engine mannequin. So, a lot of it's pretty much only visual stuff, which I like because the game's functional, it works. That's pretty important. So, yeah. If you, oh yeah, I gotta add the thing to here. Change your gun. Makes a different sound when you shoot. Isn't that just neat? Oh. Ha. Take that. Oh man. So let me know what you think of the new shader. I think it looks really, really nice. Pretty good. Oh yeah, also super small thing. You see how they're like running towards me, right? So like, I changed it so that when you come in contact with somebody, they all stop. Aha. Because before you could get like, you could get touched by like multiple guys, right? So now you can't. Hooray. Alright, so I think that was all. Yeah, so a new build is coming soon. That'll be for Next Fest, which is like in 2 weeks or so. And it should have a lot of the story mode done in terms of the art. It should have some new music. I'm not going to guarantee that. I should have some new ones. Should have some new models. And I don't know how many, but I'll have some more. And it should be playable up until the first half of Chapter 1. Which is... yeah, so... stay tuned for that. And I'll see you next time.